Hello, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be watching another episode tutorial of Windfeathers Creations. Thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial on, it's a special order for a school teacher that has this very special class, and she put an order in for the Say No to Autism Awareness bookmarkers. This print is known for that, even though a lot of the children are very high sensitive to bright colors. But for adults that want to be aware and want to support the Say No to Autism, this is the order that she put in. So as you can see, it does have a little charm, and I don't know if you could see that little charm, but it is the Say No to Autism Awareness and the symbol, right? And then I'm using a lot of the primary colors from the actual print. So today we'll be making some bookmarkers, and I will be using these colors. She wants to gift them to the parents. So these will be the 4 colors that I'll be using that will match the actual bookmarker. So before we start on our little project, that's going to be quick, and I promise under 10 minutes, I'm going to do my best to get that done and not chit-chat as much. I would like to say, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, it takes nothing but a little click on the subscribe button, and I would love that very much for you to be part of my little channel so that you can learn many little projects that are fun and interesting. So I have this print, and it's just pieces that I've made other projects. And what I like to do is, again, do the 7.5 inches by 5 inches, which is a very, very basic size. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay it down, and I'm going to cut it off the print, which I've already previously cut it. So I have this actual print here, and it's going to be, before you do the sewing, it's about a little bit, not quite 5 inches, and across is 7.5 inches. So again, 5 and 7. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to take it to the machine, and it's not like my bookmarkers where the dolphin, where the 3D pictures are in front. This one's going to be very fast and quick. So I'm going to take it to the machine and sew it across and all the way down. So here I have stitched it just straight across and all the way straight down. Then I'm going to trim it. So here I quickly trimmed it, and as you can see, I just sewed across, down, and then here I quickly did a light trim. Okay, so now we're going to flip this inside out. Okay, and you can use a pencil, you can use a ruler, whatever's easiest for you. I'm going to do this really quickly. Be right back. So here I have put it inside out. You can use a pencil to kind of smoothen out the corners. It's up to you. So now we're going to put the inside filling. So I like to use, again, like I spoke in my previous tutorials, this is the 70% ultra firm stabilizer Pellon, and I'll put it there so you can see that. It's really thick. I don't know if you can hear that. So what I'm going to do is, I've already cut out a piece here so I can show you. So what I like to do, you can measure half of this and actually just cut about maybe less than ½ an inch off of it. Or what I like to do, because sometimes when you sew, sometimes no matter how perfect you are, it still comes out a little crooked, and you have to, as a seamstress, we got to go back and forth, sew a little here. So I just like to measure it here. I'm going to cut it out and fill it. So here I cut out the piece. If you need the measurements for this one, it would be about a little bit, quite 2 inches and 6.5 inches. So you can always kind of just figure out, okay, this is how much this is going to fit in here. If it's too tight and it bends like this, that means you need to trim it a little more. Okay, so what we do now is we just stuff it. I like to keep it bent until I put it all the way through, all the way through. It should fit nice and snug. And then I like to get the ruler and then just kind of smooth everything out. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is quickly show you. I am going to trim this part off. So I'm going to tuck it in from here to here. So we're just basically tucking. It doesn't matter where the front or the back goes. So I'm going to fix this because it is a little bunchy here. I'll be right back. So I wanted to show you the easiest way is using something small, flat, so you can fold in that fabric in there. So now we are done with our stuffing of the pellet. What we're going to do next, we're going to pick one of these pretty colors. I'm going to pick, I already have purple, so let's pick the green. So what I like to do with my little tassels is I like to make a little knot like this here, and then I tuck it in. So I made a knot, and I'm going to tuck it in right in there. So that little knot will be my holding place so that it could back stitch, and it will keep that tassel in there for many, many, many years. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go stitch this across, and I'll be right back. I did want to show you something that does happen quite a lot, no matter what good quality tassels you get. After I had stitched it together, as you can see, there's the stitching. I had to take it apart, undo the stitching, and take this out, because as I tried to adjust some of the tassel, it got tangled up. So this one won't be usable anymore, but I will go ahead and get another one. I have more greens here, so I'm going to get this other one. And then what you can do is touching the tip tightly. You want to at least snug a little in case there's any loose ends. And if there's anything like that, which is normal because this company makes tassels made in the US by the hundreds. So I just like to tuck that in and then use a little bit fabric fusion in there so that eventually that won't snag. And then I like to flip mine upside down, and if there's any little ones that are like shorter, I trim those off because that's gonna sometimes be sticking out like that. I don't know if you could see that. So I trim those little ones that are uneven, and nothing happens to the tassel. If you don't want it to frail apart, just dab a little of the fabric fusion on the edges. Okay, so I'm going to finish this one up again. Okay, so here we have our little finished bookmarker. So now I'm going to add the little charm, and I'm just going to hook it right in this section here. I don't know if you could see that, but there's like a section between the tassel, and that's where I put my little ring. So I'm going to put this together, and I will show you how the finished product is. You will need your tools for jewelry making or whatever, charms, the way you hook your charms up, and any kind of actually jewelry pliers or thin pliers will work. Since I have a few minutes, I will show you how I do my ring and how I put it in the bookmarker. So I just, oops, where am I? There we go. I twist it a little open really gently. I put the ending in one section, and then in here where I mentioned that little tiny tassel that separates each section goes in there, and then I gently close it and make sure, and then I dab a little bit, oops, let's see, did I close that? Yeah. So I dab a little bit of nail polish and let it sit and let it dry so that it will reinforce that. So here you have your second bookmarker. Now you have two. Well, I have two, right? Well, I have a big order to do, so I gotta go. I will let you go, and I'm gonna start packing. I have 13 more to go, and then I'll be done so I can take this to the post office. Thank you for joining me. Again, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you again real soon in another easy, fast tutorial. Thank you.